All right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, this morning, we'll be turning our attention to a pressing and deeply concerning issue, the Kaduna attacks. And now we'll be looking at the resurging security concerns. Now, just yesterday and today, media reports have highlighted a shocking attack in Kurmanwali, in January, local government area of Kaduna State, where no fewer than 170 residents were reportedly kidnapped in a violent raid. Now, this comes amid other attacks across the state, leaving communities terrified, families devastated, and raising urgent concerns and questions about the capacity of security agencies to protect vulnerable citizens. Now, to help us unpack these developments, their causes, and the wider implications, we are joined via Zoom from Kaduna by Rev Yunusah Nmadu Jnr. He is a public affairs analyst, former Hauwa General Secretary, and currently CEO of Christian Solidarity Worldwide. With his experience in advocacy, community engagement, and public affairs, he brings a unique perspective on the challenges facing Kaduna and the broader security landscape in Nigeria. Now, in this segment, we will explore why such attacks are resurging, the human cost to affected communities, and the steps being taken to restore safety and confidence. Good morning, Reverend. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, looking at the situation in Kaduna State, the security situation in Kaduna State, we have heard reports of fresh attacks in Kurmanwali village in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State, and there have been incessant attacks as well. Now, as someone deeply engaged with communities in Kaduna, how would you describe the current security situation compared to a year ago? Is this a relapse, an escalation, or a failure to consolidate earlier gains? Because we have seen these attacks are recurring, and at the end of the day, some attacks have been debunked where community people have come out, listed names of over 100 people that have so far recently been kidnapped. So what are your thoughts? And I'd like to hear from you on your opinion of insecurity when it comes to Kaduna State.
Thank you very much again for having me, and good morning, viewers. To answer your question, we need to have a background to the issue of insecurity in Kaduna State. First of all, we do know that years back, and I'm talking about like 3 years back, Kaduna was known as the epicenter of insecurity in the north. But with the coming of the present governor, we experienced that there was a scale down in the attacks in many communities. Now, if we isolate the community we're talking about, which is Kajuru local government, under which, where Kurmanwali is, since 2019, there have been several attacks in that community. And I can say that it was even a daily affair, almost a daily affair. You remember that there was a time that many people were killed. The then governor, El-Rufai, tried to refute it. And he also tried to have his own narrative that the Fulani militias who went to kill the people there were the ones who were killed. And, several questions came up as to what, what he wanted to achieve by that and what took the Fulanis to that community. Anyway, so the insecurity to answer your question pointedly, has seriously reduced in Kaduna State. The government has been trying all she could in order to tame the insecurity in Kaduna State as a whole. Places like Breningwari, Kajuru, where this just happened, and a few other places that used to be a no-go area, at least now people are able to go to those areas, even though we cannot say that insecurity has abated completely. So what happened in Kromin Wali, it's not new. Like I said, since 2019, that local government, Kajuru local government has been under attack, and we can only say that the scale and the frequency reduced over the last 1 year. And so what happened now, it's a repeated action, like the people told us in Kromin Wali, that they've been attacked several times. They flee their community. Sometimes they will run away and return again because they do not have anywhere to go to. And so in that particular community, yes, the attack has been very frequent.
All right, now, Reverend, as you've mentioned that the attacks in Kromin Wali has been very frequent, this is not the first nor second, and they've been experiencing this for a really long time. And what makes Kromin Wali so peculiar that these attacks do continue to happen, and they always get targeted when it comes to these kidnappings?
One of the reasons I think is because the place is in a remote area. It's the roads are not very easy to access. And then they are very close to a large forest where the kidnappers can come in easily and attack these people who have so become vulnerable, and then go back into the forest. So I would think that the expanse of the ungoverned area is much in that area. But also, you know that the criminals that are perpetrating this heinous crime against the people also want to make a point. Like we do know that the Fulani militias, as we later know that they are the ones again who went to this area and have been coming time and time again, work hand in hand with Boko Haram. And Boko Haram have tried as much as possible to let the public know that they have a kind of Islam that they want everyone, to convert into. So as an extremist group with extremist idea, their target will usually be largely Christian communities. And I think that they also like to score a point, this area being largely a Christian community, to also say that they are being successful in their campaign in order to to spread their kind of Islam, which is very strange to us as a people having lived in this country and especially in Kaduna for a very long time.
All right, now you made mention of those that come to attack to commit those kidnappings and killings as well. You made mention of the Fulani militia as well as the Boko Haram. Have they come out and declared that they have been the one perpetrating these acts? Or is it some sort of investigation that has been carried out, or just an assumption?
Well, the people in the community, we spoke to our press officer, Ruben Buhari, spoke to some of them, and they said that as the people were talking to them, the accent was Fulani accent. They were speaking in Fulani and they were also speaking in Hausa. Of course, the community do not understand Fulani, so they were telling them kwanta kwanta, but you could hear the thick Fulani accent. So, and it's not that they were marks anyway. So the community people also saw them. So, that's where we get our verification from.
All right, Reverend, with this recent attack that just happened in Kaduna, the government and the Nigerian police in Kaduna State came out to debunk excuse me, at first to debunk that, nothing as such happened, and it was a back and forth between the community, Khan, the Kaduna state government, and the police. And this similar incident had happened during the El Rufai era, which, of course, you also rightly stated, where, a similar incident like this happened, and the government also came out to debunk that such incident never happened. We've seen another reoccurrence and the same pattern. Why do you think that each time we have such very complicated issues at hand when it comes to security, the government always push back to want to debunk it first, and then later when investigations, continue? Because I don't want to believe that a huge rumor like this, where we have 160 persons that were being abducted, can be tagged as a rumor. Because, I mean, I don't think any community would want to wake up in the morning and stage such rumor, maybe to get the attention of the government or what have you. I don't think so. But why do you think that each time we have such an incident, the government, the people that we are supposed to hold accountable would want to, push back at first?
Well, I think we can separate the two incidents in terms of the motivation for the action, even though the action can be wrapped into one. First of all, I believe that what El Rufai did at that time is because of his hatred for people in that area, and namely the Southern Kaduna people. And I mean, as you listen to El Rufai in his various interviews, he had never hidden his hatred for people from that part of the state. So I think he was trying to let the public know that the Fulanis are not the ones that troublemakers, is the people of Southern Kaduna, and where Kajuru belongs, with a particular dominant religion, like you know. But as for these incidents, I am completely taken aback that the government of Kaduna State will debunk such a large scale of crime committed against a community. And I'm more surprised because, first of all, the police agreed that there was an attack. That was the first instance. Then they came back to say, no, there was no attack. And they even issued threats that people who are saying that there are attacks there are merchants of crisis, and that they will deal with people who want to disturb the peace of Kaduna State. Now, I want you to understand that that second statement of debunking the incidents happened after they came out of a Security Council meeting, like the Commissioner of Police himself said. So I want to believe that it was an agreement in their Security Council to debunk it. Now, in trying to do a damage control, they came out to say that it's because they didn't want to throw the state into a kind of a crisis situation. But hey, even if it is chicken you steal from a community to the number of 167, and some are even quoting 177, I mean, the neighborhood will know that something has happened in that community. So why they want to debunk it, I don't know. But my guess will be that, first of all, they are trying so hard to downplay the issue of the Christian persecution in that area, and in the country as a whole. And so they will probably think that if this story comes out and they said that people worshiping in the church, I mean, that's what makes this one very peculiar. People worshiping in the church, 3 churches, bandits went in there and took people en masse away. It will go a long way to confirm, the assertion of Christian persecution, not only in Kaduna State, but in northern Nigeria. So perhaps that's what they wanted to hide. The government, like I said, have done very well. The security agents have done very well in the last 1 year. But I can tell you that at this occasion, they got it wrong. So instead of wasting time to debunk what has already happened. The community said, this is what has happened to us. And you said, no, it has not happened to you. And they spend 72 hours to come to say, okay, now they've done their investigation and they are able to, they've started chasing the people. 72 hours. 72 hours. That's too late for me.
All right.
And if they are not trying to hide anything, for instance, our organization sent a team to go in there to confirm what has happened, but the military stopped them and escorted them on the road out of the place because they didn't want the news to go out. So there is something they wanted to hide, which they discover at the end of the day they cannot hide it any longer.
All right. Now, Reverend, let's look at the state of response and accountability when it comes to these attacks, especially in Kurumeng Wadi in Kaduna State. You've made mention, and we know that they've gotten a lot of incessant attacks continuously due to you mentioning that it is in the area, the community is in a remote area. Now, from your analysis, where exactly is the state response failing the most when it comes to intelligence gathering, early warnings, rapid response, and post-attack justice? We've seen that these attacks have happened not once, not twice, continuously. And why do they continue happening if this community is known to be vulnerable by the authorities as well? How come this community is not secure enough to repel these kind of attacks?
Okay, so when I said that these happenings have been repeated, there are surrounding villages in this particular area, Kurumeng Wadi, and they have suffered a lot of attack in time past, in recent time past. So here you could just say it is now the turn of this particular community. Some have fled their community already, and why the government has not focused on that area in order to protect the community is something that I do not know. Perhaps it is due to shortage of manpower. I don't know. But like I said, this is not the first time. This is not the second time, as we were told by the community. Their neighbors have been attacked over time. Some have fled away. And sometimes where they even flee to, the bandits follow them to such places. So I don't know whether, I won't say that it is failure of intelligence, because the people have repeatedly reported. Okay, for instance, this has happened. The government spent 72 hours denying it. And this is when you want to chase the bandits in order to rescue these people. So I just think there is something that is they are hiding that we do not know.
All right, Reverend, excuse me. Let's look at, because you said it took, 72 hours for the government to come to terms or to agree that, this attack was being carried out in that community. So let's look ahead. Let's look how, we don't pray that such incident should happen again, but if it gets to happen, let's look at, a possible way on how to solve it. So in your own view, what are the practical steps that, both the Khan, the government, civil society groups need to take to ensure a faster and joint verification before, such reports go public?
Well, I think that for what happened in Kurumeng Wadi, I would be surprised if the DSS didn't have a first-hand information that it has happened. And if there is intelligence sharing among the various security agents, I think it will take care of all of this confusion of trying to deny what has happened. And I don't think that the government denied the happening because they sincerely didn't know that it happened. I think that they denied it because they wanted to cover up the attack. So it is not the issue of whether they knew or they did not know. I believe that they knew. That's why the police commissioner, first of all, came to confirm the attack, then later on debunked it, and then, few days later, accepted that it happened. So you can just see that there are some politics, very bad blood politics being played here if you look at the whole issue. So I think that they knew it happened. Immediately it happened because the community reached out. There is very good network in that community. Fortunately, there might be bad roads, but the internet connectivity is very good in that community. They have phones. They have sent out messages. Out of the people that were taken, because of the large scale of the people that were taken, 11 escaped, including the Dakachi of that place. He reached out, but the chairman of the local government went to them immediately it happened and said that they should deny that it happened to them. If they do that, that is when they will be able to rescue them. According to him, and I do not see any sense in it, that if it goes public, they might not be able to rescue the people that have been attacked, have been abducted. So if they deny it, then they are able to go after the people and get them back. I don't understand the sense in that. So again, it's not that the government did not know it happened, but they denied it for their political exigencies.
All right, now, Reverend, looking at these attacks that have been continuous in these areas, what do you think the long-term social consequences are seen that these affected communities get to be displaced, breakdown of interfaith relations as well as economic collapse? Now, with these repeated attacks, how do you think the coexistence in Kaduna will become, particularly when it comes to Christians, Muslims, and traditional communities as well? Because we have to be realistic about what is going on down there.
Yeah, true. First of all, the people, as we all know, are not able to pursue their economic life. They are not able to go to farm. These are basically farmers. They are not able to go to farm. Of course, since they are fleeing their community, how do they farm? Because their farms are in their community. So it's causing a lot of economic crisis in the lives of those people. Secondly, with what has happened, there is going to be a trust deficit, or there is already a trust deficit between the people and the government who are meant to protect them. The government, in my mind, didn't send the bandits. So what's your business denying that it has happened? So the people are going to think right now that they are on their own. The bandits are against them. The government is against them, so to say. So it's going to create a deep trust deficit, which is not good for any government at all. Then, thirdly, like you said, I agree that this is going to cause a lot of suspicion between the two religions and even the ethnic groups that probably exist in that place. We haven't known the facts yet, but we need to understand also, are there locals that are involved in terms of those who will lead the bandits into the community? Because usually when this happens, you will discover that there are some of the kinsmen of the bandits who probably are living in the community, who become the way through which the bandits will enter into the community and show them around and show them who is who and who to pick and who not to pick, so that they hit hard at the community. So for now, we have not ascertained that, because the military refused our team from entering so that we can carry out some interview. So if it is true that the community, the locals suspect that there are some people they've accommodated in the community who perhaps are not originally people of that community and are involved in aiding and abetting what has happened, of course, you do know that trust issue will be a big problem and it will widen the gap. So for me, I would think that the government need to do more in terms of being on the side of the people. The government also needs to do more in terms of supporting local dialogue between the people so that the people can together protect their communities.
All right. Thank you very much, Reverend Yunusah Nmadu Jnr., for highlighting what is going on ground in Kaduna State when it comes to insecurity.
Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you very much for having. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, that is all we have for this segment. We'll be going on a quick break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the front pages of our national dailies and see what made it there. So make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.